There are 5 characters. I think I made them for every.
I'm just temporarily renaming mine.
Yeah, you can like go. Feel free to rename them. So.
Well, this way I've named mine Kevin's character, so you know that I.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I only like. I made sure that only you can both see and edit your characters.
So I kind of am curious about playing the Skinner, but that's the one you said you don't have much experience with, right?
Not as a player, but Skinner is definitely easier for Master of Ceremonies to fit in than the Brainer. I had bad experiences with Brainer as Master of Ceremonies.
Okay.
Like, I felt bad because I wanted player to actually have to do something during the session, but I didn't have any. Like, I am DMing something, but I wouldn't call myself like uber duper excellent DM. I might have some experience.
It's also a group effort, right? So if like
that's true,
someone plays the brainer, they're also gonna be like, okay,
it's true that I can try to focus and put you in the situations, like give you ideas what can you do, but on the other hand, it's good if players also give something from them and like throw in ideas what they want to do. So that's correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to play the Touchstone, but that's not an option anymore, so who am I gonna play? This is really difficult.
I mean, you can just choose it and like input like things on your character, and I will just see it. I just won't have like Touchstone opened before my. If it comes to it, I will just like ask you to like read it what your moves are.
Yeah. I think I'll do that because I actually, if I ever play like an actual Apocalypse World game, I totally want to play the Touchstone. So I think it's like a good training for me in creating a Touchstone character. And
yeah, go ahead.
Do you mind? Do you mind just doing a brief description of the Touchstone for those who haven't seen the playbook?
I can just read the thing in the the description. At the earliest reaches of living memory, the world collapsed. Cities raged, burned, or just died in agony. Starved, fell silent. The sky howled. Not everyone who remembers it but the same way. People forget who they were, where they had come from, what they could make. Now in this world of filth and blindness, there are few with new vision. They go amongst us at war, indomitable and doomed, hoping and fighting for something better. So it's basically someone who has had a past of violence and conflict, but now has has a future, like a vision for the future of this world, and wants to create basically something new and like happy out of this fucked up apocalypse. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for like proper analogy in like post-apocalypse movie characters, but I'm really not sure. I was thinking like about that Book of Eli that with Denzel Washington.
Yeah. It's kind of
No, not really, but okay. So
I think in the course of the Mad Max movie, Imperator Furiosa kind of turns into a Touchstone.
Oh, so that's the thing. I still have yet to watch the Mad Max. Don't boo me. I will. But yeah, like my friends who I usually play with, they said they watched the Mad Max and they said, yeah, Apocalypse World is like Mad Max.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I haven't gotten that far into this, but I definitely see similarities.
Watched that movie, I was like, I should just, if I ever play Apocalypse World, I should play the driver and take that, that move that says, my second car is a tank, it's an armored vehicle with like grenade launchers. Yeah.
Yeah, like I heard, like Mad Max shows, if you are playing post-apocalypse, how the setting of Apocalypse World should look like. Even if you are using zombies, aliens, or something instead of.
Yeah.
Okay, so team is going with Touchstone. Anybody else like has more or less decided, or has any like have a problem deciding between one or another?
I definitely want to play the Skinner. I don't know, that just really appeals to me for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have like Scout open before, so I might not have exactly yet feel the voices. So Rachel, right? Okay, so
yeah, sure,
Rachel goes with Skinner.
And I was going to give Pia the chance to decide, and then I would go sort of last.
I have trouble deciding between the Safety Head and the Hocus.
Okay, fantastic. Then neither of those were the ones I was going for. So I'm just going to take it easy and go Gunlugger.
Nice. So if we ever get into real deep shit.
Oh, I'm going to get us into real deep shit.
Yeah, but you're also going to slaughter a bunch of people to get out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Savvy Head.
Okay, so I admit I'm a real noob when it comes to character sheets, so might need a little bit of instruction on filling mine out. I'm sorry.
I want to say...
Has everybody chosen already? Because I was waiting for you to choose.
Yeah, Lucid, we still didn't choose. I think everybody chose B.
Okay, so I think I'll take the Angel.
Okay, so Rachel, you said you are very like new in case of like character creation. Okay, so yeah, you give yourself name, class, very nice. Okay, so I hope you still have like PDF open.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Skinner. So the where is he? The second page of the Skinner class.
Mm-hmm.
The stats, and then you choose one, and that set decides what values are for each stat used.
Okay. Sorry, so how do I pick my stats? Do I roll the die or
No, you have 4 sets and you just decide I want the first set or the second one, whatever you want, and then you input the values of stats into the sheet.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay.
Touchstone and the picture of Constantine. Interesting combination. Tim, you watched the Constantine TV show?
Yeah, I totally did. Because everybody around him is just like they're all miserable, right? And he's the only one who's like begrudgingly giving people a bit of hope, right? Like he's doing it very begrudgingly. He's like, oh sure, okay, but you know.
I see some. Yeah, okay. I see logic into in that. That can work.
Also, it's just a picture, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's really not a problem. Yeah, also like usually pictures are not a thing in Apocalypse World because it's a lot of the times it's theater of the mind and like not grid-based combat. And also like that's other thing that I like in the system when like for example in D&D if you say okay so I jump through the window onto the swinging lamp, I swing through the half of the room, land near the guy and I put a blade to his neck. In D&D you have to make like 5 or 6. Here you probably like there's a high chance you can finish your like be able to do the entire thing in like max 2 rolls. Okay, else has any problems or requires instructions?
Not yet.
So it says underneath. Okay, never mind. I'm just trying to like jump back and forth between the PDF and the thing. Okay.
Okay, I see, Kevin. You took not to be fucked with. You moved the gang.
Yes, nice.
How could I not take that?
And, oh god, you took grenade launcher.
Nice.
Yeah, because in terms of damage, I forgot to mention, but for example, if a single person fights with a gang, even a small gang, then the damage they deal is like 1 up.
Yeah.
Like normally, if like gang fights against a gang, like it's like 1 or 2 points of damage. So if like a single person fights against the gang and if he's injured, then he gets like 2 or 3 points of.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to make sure that any battles we get in are going to potentially cause us problems just from overkill, among other potential consequences we might face. But
Yep.
It's okay. I'm playing a character who wants to create a better future and give people hope, but all he can do is fight.
I like that though. I've always been very into like the optimistic apocalypse stuff. Like
I just like. Yeah, sure. You finish first. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say one of my favorite series is the Zombies Run series, where it's like, yeah, there's a zombie apocalypse, but we have knitting club on Wednesday.
Right. I just like the idea of a character who is really good at fighting, but has realized that it's not getting people anywhere. He's like, I wanna create something better, but he doesn't really have the ability to do so yet. Like he doesn't really know how to do that, but he just knows that he does want to do that.
I love the ideal of it, but I feel like my character is going to make sure that the threat of or anything threatening that optimism is going to die vicious.
Like, yeah.
Violence is the.
Well, at least it's the best option. As Candide said, this is the best of all possible violent outcomes.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Are there any Skinner moves that like I think I start with 2, so are there any that are like really fun or that I would be missing out to not have, or that are kind of essential to like not dying? Is there anything like that?
Well, in terms of the Skinner, I mentioned the move with the moving piece of clothing, which is the move an arresting Skinner.
Okay. Is that super useful and I should totally get that, or I don't?
Yeah, like it can be like.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it kind of depends on what kind of Skinner you want to go for, because that's like, okay, you seduce people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. But there's also like artful and gracious, which is if you want to be more of like a performance artist, like someone who sings or whatever, that gives you like a bonus when you perform your chosen art. So So yeah, it kind of
I think so the better answer to your question would be it's not that any of the moves, like one move is better than the other. It just the question should be which move is best suited for the Skinner that I want to play.
Yeah. Just like, do you want to be a weird Skinner, then you get lost? Do you want to be like an artful Skinner, then you get artful and gracious? You want to be a seducing Skinner, or do you want to be hypnotic? Which, you know. And then there's always like breathtaking, which just gives you +1 heart, which is, you know.
Yeah,
it's simple, but it's also very useful.
Also, I can mention that +3 is the maximum you can get in your stats. And I think this is also maximum you can get on your roll. Even with somebody is helping. I'm pretty sure the +3.
You sure? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but that would make okay, maybe if somebody's helping then it can get I forgot. Yeah, and in terms of numbers, also I might mention that the maximum number on armor that players usually can get is 2. Like 2 is already like full riot police.
Excuse me.
And 3 is just level of like powered suits, Fallout style, which they are not usually around.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna take a sip from my tea and I'm gonna grab it and I'll just wait when you like finish with everything besides HX, the history part. Because everything else besides history of your characters can be done like alone, but when you finish with everything else, then like we have to like discuss with the history.
Okay.
So, my gear says I have oddments worth 3 barter. What the hell does that mean?
It's like an abstracted currency for things you might trade for in the future whenever we run out of stuff we want or need.
Yeah,
or what.
1 barter is like about 1 month's worth of living expenses, and what stuff you have that is worth 3 barter, you can just decide that. Like, you can say, like, okay, it's just, like, we have some form of currency in our world, or you're like, I have, like, a bunch of valuable items that are whatever you want, but it's basically what you would need to survive 3 months if you paid for everything, like food and whatever, like fuel and other expenses.
Okay.
So what those items actually are, totally your choice. You just know that they would, if you sold literally all of them, would pay for about 3 months of living.
Yep, that is correct. So just checking, are we good to go with the history, or are people still making the the rest of character, the class moves, stats and whatnot?
I'm done.
I'm still figuring it out. I'm sorry. I think I'm almost done.
No, it's as I mentioned. Any questions? Go ahead. I'm just checking out to make sure that we are not silent for 15 minutes when we could possibly be.
Oh, it's a shame Roll20 won't let me use this animated GIF.
Kevin, I don't recognize the character from that.
It's Michael Berryman, who's in The Hills Have Eyes, but he played like a post-apocalyptic nightmare dude in the 80s comedy Weird Science, and the moment is like when he's blowing his armpit as though he were freshening up. It's
okay, never.
That's all right. It's
It just became so obscure. That was so obscure. You're like, it's that guy that you know from this guy thing, but he was also in this other thing where in one scene he was blowing his armpits.
hey, you know.
Should I have a sawed-off or a hunting rifle? That's a difficult question.
Yeah, I want to kill guys with this or with that.
Yeah, but I already have a big knife for like close quarter combat, so I think I'm gonna go with a hunting rifle.
Try.
But that only does 2 harm.
That's still a lot.
Yeah,
usually NPCs should take 1 or max 2 harm and they are down. Only really strong, powerful NPCs who are meant to be bosses, badass gang leaders can take slightly more. But as I said, combat is meant to be quick and fast.
But I could also have a sawed-off, which does 3 damage. No, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the hunting rifle, which does 2 harm, but instead of the knife, I'm gonna take a machete, which does 3 harm.
Yeah, for example, if Rebook uses grenade launcher and gets good enough roll on hard, and if he chooses the option to deal I don't know how it's